Hey Amazon sellers, how you doing? My name is Arful and welcome to Sterlinx. Today's video is going to be about what expenses can you claim as an Amazon seller while you're trading on Amazon. Now, this video is majorly targeted towards the UK limited companies or UK business owners who are selling in the UK on Amazon FBA or Amazon FBM, however you are doing it. Some of the contents of the video may be compatible for some other sellers who are coming from a different country. And what I've decided to do on this video, focus only the main 10 expenses that you can claim as part of your expenses while you're doing your tax return in the UK for your Amazon business. So number one on the list, shipping fees. If you are selling stock and buying this from an overseas manufacturer, this is where you record the money you pay for the actual freight cost. So shipping fees is more clarified towards the actual import that you're doing. So the stock that you're ordering from your manufacturer or your supplier directly either from Far East, from China, or from another supplier in the UK or Europe, wherever the goods are coming from. So it's got a cost, a shipping cost, right? The bearing cost. So it will go from the supplier's warehouse to your FBA stock or FBA warehouse or your 3PL or your own garage or own warehouse, wherever you're storing it. So that shipping cost that actually comes with the product is a claimable expense. Now it may or may not have VAT on it. If it does, we'll be able to claim the VAT for you if you are one of our clients. However, whoever doing your accounts, they should be able to claim the VAT for you if you're also VAT registered. All right, so shipping fees is number one, and this is definitely claimable expense from HMRC from your yearly accounts. Make sure, guys, you keep an eye on that you're claiming the right figures for shipping fees. So next, going down on my list, import VAT and duties. So once your product enters the country, you need to settle the VAT and duties for that shipment. The import VAT rate depends on the goods you are shipping in. Now every single product has got a commodity code, and the commodity code is the identification number for the actual product. Based on that, you will have a shipping duty and VAT to pay during the import. Now if the product is coming from outside the UK, you will be liable for import VAT and duties. Your shipping company will usually take the data from you before the goods arrive into the port area. Then they will calculate and send you a bill. This is how much VAT and duty due to be paid. Now don't forget, they are collecting the payment for you on behalf of the actual customs, and they will pass the payment to customs through their accounts or different account, whatever they've got, however they manage it, to actual HMRC customs and revenue. What you will do, you will, in terms of the expenses, make sure that you're claiming the VAT and duties. Now the VAT may or may not be claimable depending if you are a VAT registered company on Amazon. Okay, if the duties or paid on like 1, 2, 3% of whatever the percentage is, that's definitely claimable. Okay, that's definitely claimable, and that will come from the year-end account or the yearly profit and loss, whichever business model you are in. So make sure you speak to accountant or speak to your bookkeeper, whoever is doing it. They definitely claim those expenses for you as well. And if you don't have one, you can speak to us. Next on my list comes is delivery fees. Now delivery fees, I'm referring more towards the actual fees when a buyer buys from your business online. Courier will deliver this right to the doorsteps of the actual clients or customers that you have. This expense should be considered and recorded correctly. So the delivery fee could be the actual FBA delivery fee or shipping delivery fee that goes from Amazon warehouse to the actual customer's doors. They actually charge you a fee for that. If you break down the cost of FBA, you will be able to claim that as an expense from HMRC. However, you can also claim any shipment that you sent by yourself to your clients directly if FBA is not your fulfillment method. So it could be a 3PL bill, or it could be the actual shipping cost that you buy online, or a Royal Mail receipt, or any method of payment. Or if you delivered it in person, if you hired a delivery man to deliver some large goods, you can also claim those delivery fees off your books. All right, so make sure this is recorded correctly and claimed correctly, and you are fully entitled to it. There is some money off from your tax bill. Storage cost. This is the cost you pay in storing your stocks or inventory in a warehouse or other storage facility. Even when you store your stocks with Amazon FBA, they will charge you with storage costs. Now, storage fees can also be billed by a 3PL warehouse if it's not Amazon. It can be your own warehouse. I mean, where you have storage costs, like, or it could be storing company, something like a yearly storage, for example, who store the products, and you just simply go and manage the products from their business from there. So storage cost is one of our top 10 expenses that you can claim as an Amazon seller. Make sure you reconcile all the transactions correctly with your bank, and input the invoices and the figures, including checking the VAT is correctly claimed as well, because you'll be able to claim the VAT on the storage cost. All right, office rent. So office rent I left in the list because as an Amazon seller, most of the time you would not work from home because home can be very destructive, and you'd like to rather move into office. It could be co-working space at £200-300 a month, or it could be one office space for £500 a month. Okay, or it could be a friend's garage where you're paying a bit of rent because you built an office there and you just pay rent for that. It could also be another office rent that you usually virtually hire for meeting, or using for your letters and your HMRC tax revenue registration, or brand registration, or business registration, such as a virtual office. Okay, so these rents are usually VATable, and you will be able to claim the VAT as well as the actual expense from your yearly account. Make sure you take care of that, and also reconcile and compute all the transactions correctly, because you are entitled to it as an Amazon seller. You will be able to claim those back. Right, so next on my list is fulfillment cost. Not all Amazon sellers use Amazon FBA all the time. There are fulfillment centers that most sellers use to fulfill their customers' orders, and they are charged per order processed that needs to be recorded. If you are operating with Amazon fulfillment, that's great, fantastic. Off the hands, they are managing it for you, and they will be able to charge you a fulfillment cost for that, and you can claim that back. And you do need a good accountant who knows their e-commerce and Amazon very well, who will be able to break it down and claim it correctly for you. And yeah, you make sure you have an e-commerce accountant, and they will claim it back for you. All right. Otherwise, we are one of the e-commerce accountants who can break all that down and claim that for you. So fulfillment cost can be Amazon FBA, as well as it can be 3PL. Now 3PL is a third-party logistics. If they don't store directly on Amazon FBA, or they sell single amount or a small amount of products, they send their stock into a 3PL, and 3PL then obviously pick and pack, ship the items for you according to the orders they receive, or they will send a pallet or two according to your replenishment on the actual Amazon selling account, which will then go to Amazon fulfillment, and they will repeat the costing for fulfillment cost. So any of those costs throughout the way or throughout the journey, our fulfillment cost to actual buyers who are buying your products, and you have a regular cost of that every time somebody buys a product, every time there is an expense. Okay, and you will have to make sure that you claim that, because that's a claimable money. You don't want to lose that, and you want to ensure that you claim that expense, bring your actual amount of tax that you'll pay lower by claiming the right expenses. This is definitely advisable. You claim the fulfillment cost. Now, some fulfillment cost may or may not have VAT. Only the invoices and the type of fulfillment cost can clarify that. So you'll have to speak to your accountant or your bookkeeper, or you can speak to us and we can figure that out for you. So moving next is on my list, advertising and marketing cost. The cost includes PPC, lead generation, paid traffic, social media advertisement, and so on. So any sort of advertising and marketing you do are legit claimable expenses for your business. Now on Amazon, there's a massive confusion between claiming the PPC advertisement, paid advertisement cost, VAT or not. We can tell you clearly that so far until today, yes, it is claimable VAT on Amazon PPC. Most of the cases they don't automatically deduct the VAT because you have a VAT registration number. I mean, in most cases they collect VAT on their invoice, so you are entitled to claiming those VAT from HMRC, and you have to make sure one of your bookkeepers or your accountants go through the actual Amazon PPC invoices correctly to ensure they can claim the right VAT. All right, and this is a claimable VAT as well. well as the actual advertisement figure outside the VAT, or excluding the VAT, is claimable expense for your business, and you need to make sure you take advantage of that and claim the expenses correctly, and you save a bit of money there from your tax bill. All right, so next is accounting cost. Declaring VAT for your Amazon sales is tedious work, since you need to declare your VAT in every country that you sell into, especially when it comes to Europe. A lot of VAT issues, so you need to have an accountant to make sure everything is declared and up to date. And if you do have one, you will also be able to claim the actual expenses that you pay to the accountant as a bill per month or per year for their work. And if an accountant is charging you VAT, this is a VAT claimable expense, so you can claim the VAT against your VAT number if you are a standard registered company 20% today. Make sure you go through all this and also have the actual accounting cost claimed for your business. Next comes to legal cost. Now, Amazon sellers can sell and establish a business in other countries. If you are planning to do this, you will need legal assistance to help you with your documentations and so on. Now, if the documentations are something that an accountant can handle, for or accountancy or VAT registration firm can handle for your legal requirement, or if you are selling in the USA, you registered a company using a legal representative, that's also legal cost. If you register an LLC in the USA, for example, a lot of people do from Britain, they open an LLC in USA, and they use a lawyer, and they usually tend to come up with the legal cost. And if you do have suspended products or accounts, there are legal fees as well to the attorneys who will be dealing with the case for you, and you'll be able to claim those costs as well. However, if there are other costs involved, such as like a business contract or any sort of legal activity, such as, like I said, opening a company at the beginning, such as like if there's any trade license or any like IP registration or trademark registration, those legal fees are also claimable expenses. Now, can you claim VAT or no? That's a question mark, depending on the VAT registration and the status of the business, and you'll be able to claim the VAT on those costs. You need to speak to your accountant or your bookkeeper or one of us to be able to establish that for you. Salaries expenses. So this is the amount you pay to your employees, such as like the customer representatives, office assistant, a warehouse manager, or a bookkeeper, or somebody who is managing your jobs, your day-to-day operations. So salaries, is bare standard. You pretty understand what salaries are. Now, it can be to a person who's self-employed in your business, Amazon business. A lot of people do. They just tend to give you an invoice and you pay for it. Now, that's not classed as salary. That's an expense of hiring manpower. So, salaries are usually, we clarify, towards the payroll. So if you're paying any salaries towards an employee who is employed by your company, those are classed as salaries, usual terms. Now, those salaries are claimable expenses from your yearly accounts or your year-end profit and loss, and we will be able to claim this for you pretty comfortably, and you will be liable for employers' NI and so on, and also pension scheme, bear in mind. So the PAYE, you'll be responsible for collecting NI as well as income tax from your employees, and you'll be able to pay that back to the actual HMRC PAYE to make sure the figures are accurate, as well as everything is paid on time to avoid any sort of penalties. That's claimable expense. Make sure you claim. That's important tips in claiming your VAT as well. All expenses are claimable in HMRC as long as your business is VAT registered and your suppliers are VAT registered. Suppliers can also be suppliers of services to your businesses, like your accountant, insurance agent, and so on. You will need to ask for a VAT invoice from the supplier to reclaim your VAT from HMRC. Anyhow, so that's it today, guys, and I hope this has been very helpful for you. So keep in touch, subscribe, and press the bell icon for notification. And if you can, kindly put the thumbs up for us, and somebody else in your position will be able to find this video pretty easily due to the algorithm, how it works. Right, and thanks a lot, and I will see you on the next one. Have a nice day ahead. Bye bye now.